Hello there, and welcome to a new video about the Nikon Z6 Mark III. I know some people call Nikon cameras potatoes, but I really do think that Nikon has been stepping up their camera game with the last three cameras. With the last three cameras, I mean the Nikon Z9, Z8, and now the Z6 Mark III. Before I start, I have to put out the usual disclaimer. I did not get to test out this camera, Nikon didn't send it to me. All the test results that I'll be presenting to you are by YouTubers like Jared Poland and Gerald Undone, as well as Nikon's own website. Links to all of them are down below. Video specs include full frame 5.4K UHD at up to 60 frames per second in 10-bit 422, full frame 4K UHD at up to 60 frames per second in 10-bit 422 oversampled from 6K, full frame 6K ProRes RAW at up to 60 frames per second in 12-bit RAW, full frame 6K NRAW at up to 60 frames per second in 12-bit RAW, Super 35 4K at up to 120 frames per second, and full frame 1080p at up to 240 frames per second. Other video features also include N-Log, a high-res zoom mode, a 24-bit input for audio directly from soundboard, and waveforms. However, the Nikon Z6 Mark III does not include a digital hot shoe like with Sony or Canon. Photo specs include a 24.5 megapixel full-frame partially stacked BSI sensor, the Exceed 7 processor, and according to Jared Poland, the fastest scan rate in any camera under $4,000. It also has the Z-mount with minimal third-party lens support by, as far as I know, Sigma and Tamron, and Nikon obviously too. The native ISO range is from 100 to 64,000, expandable up to 204,800. 14 frames per second with the mechanical shutter, 20 frames per second with the electronic shutter in 14-bit RAW, with a roughly 11 millisecond readout speed, 20 frames per second pre-shooting, however JPEG only, C30 and C60 FX modes with 24 megapixels, and a C120 DX mode with 11 megapixels, both JPEG only and both aren't available in pre-shooting. It also has a variable shutter, a 96 megapixel pixel shift mode, a buffer of more than 1,000 RAW files with the CF Express Type B card, a max shutter speed of 1/8,000th of a second mechanical and 1/16,000th of a second electronic, and a new IAF subject tracking with human, animal, and vehicle AI, and an automatic mode to switch between the three AF modes. Now to the body. Nikon Z6 Mark III includes one CF Express Type B card slot and one UHS-2 SD card slot, which give you the option for photo redundancy. It also has a 5-axis in-body stabilization with up to 8 stops of stabilization. However, it does not include a sensor shield. The EVF is a 5.76 million dot EVF with a 120 FPS refresh rate that outputs at 4000 nits, so it's really bright. The LCD screen is a 3.2-inch 2.1 million dot vari-angle touchscreen with rotating display info. And the camera has a full-size HDMI port, 3.5mm mic and headphone jacks, and USB 3.2 Type-C port. The Nikon Z6 Mark III is priced at roughly $2,496 at the time of its release, or 2,490 euros currently. So, ladies and gentlemen, and basically every person interested in cameras, this completes my presentation of the Nikon Z6 Mark III. And to summarize what I think of this camera, I think this camera is brilliant. Nikon has, according to the tests that I've seen, made an incredible camera, especially when it comes to video. But I guess that's what happens when you buy red. I also don't think that it's valid to say that Nikon makes potatoes of cameras. But on a side note, it's not the camera, it's the person wielding it. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you liked this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe to my channel. If you've got any questions for this camera or for me, feel free to leave them down in the description below. And thank you very much for watching. See you next time.